Hello and welcome to my video, lesson 3.1 on imperial length. So first of all here, when we're talking about imperial units, these are some of the conversions that we can use. They should be on your formula sheet as well. But we have 1 foot equals 12 inches, and in brackets we have the units, how we actually write it down. 1 yard is 3 feet, and 1 mile is 1,760 yards. The other thing to notice here is that when we're talking about feet and inches, we can also use a single apostrophe for feet and 2 apostrophes or a quotation mark for inches. Okay, so that's good to know, but it's also interesting to note how it actually looks on a ruler. So when we're talking about inches, we can talk about fractions of an inch. So I'm just going to mark off each of these as an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. Okay, so what if we had 4.5 inches? Well, you'd be right in the half. So we'd actually write it as 4.5. Usually when we're talking about like construction, that's how they'd write it. And after that, they also usually talk about 4.25 inches and 4.125. So you can also be talking about fractions of an inch. That's another way we often look at it. Okay, so yeah, we can talk about fractions of an inch. Questions will look one of 2 ways usually, perimeter and unit conversion. So let's look at perimeter first, and let's look at the most basic example, which is the purple example, a rectangle. So add imperial lengths. So here we have a perimeter. Maybe you're talking about baseboard around a room, or maybe you're talking about fences around a yard, or maybe this is, because this is in inches, this is a piece of paper. So around our piece of paper, we want to tape it to a wall. We need a piece of tape around the entire length of it. So how much tape do we need? Well, what we would do here is literally just add them up. So we have 8 inches there. So 8, well, let's write that somewhere else. 8 plus, well, what's on this side? We have another 6, because it's the same as the other side, as the opposite corner. We have plus 6. We have down here, we have 8. So plus 8. And last, we have 6 on the side. So if we add all those together, we get 28 inches. So in this case, because we were talking about inches of tape, we could write inches of tape. All right. Now looking at our next example, the blue example, we have a weird looking shape. It's not a rectangle, it's a T. And so we need to find the outside perimeter. So it's the same process, but what we want to do first is recognize the missing side. So that's a 4 because it's opposite side there. That's a 2 because it's opposite sides. And this missing one here is 7, which is the full side, minus 3 minus 1. So that's this 3, this 1, this 7. And hopefully that's clear enough to you how that works. So we end up with 3. All right, so now what we're going to do is add up all sides. So starting at the 7, I like to go around the shape like that. That's just my habit, but let's start. 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. So all that together. What I like to do now, if I'm adding a whole bunch of things, is I like to simplify by taking things and adding them up towards 10. So 7 and 3 is 10, plus 3 and 2 is 5, 4 and 1 is 5, that's another 10, plus 2 and 4 is 6, so we have 26 feet. So in this case, we're talking about feet because that's the unit that I showed. All right, and last but not least, we have a question up top in orange. How many yards is 3 miles? So we answer this the same as our previous units. We ask, what do we want to know? So x yards. What do we know? 3 miles. And we compare it to our ratio. And in this case, our ratio is 1,760 yards to 1 mile. So what we can do is take the 3 miles, move it on top. So that means we're multiplying those two now. So 3 times 1,760 equals 5,280 yards. So those are kind of the types of questions that you will see with imperial length, unit conversion, perimeter. So I hope this video helps you understand imperial length a little bit better. Good luck!